So here we're enjoying a delicious fruit jelly with the one and only
two-time
Olivier Award winner,
Like you had practiced.
David Bedella.
Hello, fellow leggers. Thank you for joining us. We have travelled north up to Manchester, where we are heading into the Opera House.
And we are seeing the world premiere of a brand new musical, which is having an out-of-town tryout here in Manchester before heading into the illustrious and glorious West End of London. And that musical is And Juliet. So stick around to find out all of our early thoughts, what we think,
Find out how many stars.
whether it's break a leg or leg it.
It's a busy day here in Manchester.
Yeah.
They've shut down the whole of the city centre, it seems, for a massive cycle race. So apologies for any announcements.
There's all things, and we're not sponsored over here. There's giveaways and things, but we're not sponsored.
Not sponsored, but we've kind of hotly been anticipating this one because it feels as if we've heard about And Juliet for the best part of a year.
It does, and we saw them perform at West End Live over the summer as well, and they were fantastic actually. The cast is incredible for this, and we'll talk a little bit more about them later.
Hopefully we've had a chance to speak to David Bedella, 2 times Olivier Award winner.
Yeah, maybe.
So stick around for any interviews at the end.
Yes.
Just like signpost that as well.
Absolutely. But And Juliet is a brand new musical featuring the songs of Swedish pop songwriter Max Martin. Now, Max rose to prominence in the late 1990s and has gone on to write 22 Billboard Top 100 #1 singles, including Britney Spears' Baby One More Time, Katy Perry's I Kissed a Girl, Backstreet Boys' I Want It That Way, and NSYNC's It's Gonna Be Me, all of which feature in this musical.
I was going to say, looking through the song list, it's pretty much hit after hit after hit.
It really
known
is.
songs.
But I bet you're wondering, wow, what story could they possibly use to tie all of these amazing chart toppers together? Well, hold on to your hats, fellow leggers, because it's about to go down. The plot of And Juliet honestly makes Cats seem sensible. It
Why is that?
really does. Well, imagine in a fictional reality where William Shakespeare was writing the end of Romeo and Juliet, and he's just about to write the "Oh happy dagger, this is thy sheath," where Juliet offs herself, and Anne Hathaway, his wife, steps in and says, "Do you know what, Wills? I think she should live. I think she should be given a second chance." And he gets Juliet to put down the dagger and instead go on a girls' holiday to France.
As you do, but
As
you know,
you
I can't.
do.
If someone had told me that, you know, we're writing a musical about 6 wives of Henry VIII, but this time pop songs, I would have gone, "You crazy?"
Yeah.
So you just
Who
can't
knows?
tell. It's all in the context, right?
Crazy is the new normal. It's the recipe for a hit. I
So
think.
let's not judge too soon.
Yeah, let's not. But the cast for this, they've managed to pull together, even with that plot synopsis, some incredible talent, including Miriam Teague Lee, who takes on the role of Juliet, fresh out of Hamilton as one of the Schuyler sisters,
Brilliant.
leading role in this.
Wow.
The fantastic Cassidy Jansen. Now, you'll know CJ from Wicked. She played Carole King in Beautiful. She was also in Chess at the Coliseum.
She did, playing Florence.
Yes,
Yeah.
and also Oliver Tomset is in the cast, who we last saw in Kinky Boots.
We did.
Check that out just
What a
up there,
talent.
our
Yeah.
reviewer there. He's been in the business for a long time. Also, as mentioned, 2-time Olivier Award winner David Bedella in the role of Lance.
Now this is directed by Luke Shepherd.
Yes,
who also did In the Heights,
In the Heights, and Adrian Albert Mole.
which we loved.
We did.
We loved
So,
both of those.
Got high hopes for that. In the Heights, high hopes. See what I did there? See what I did? It's 2 hours and 30 minutes, including interval.
So stick around to hear our 30-second interval breakdown thoughts.
Yeah, and stick around till the end where we'll be giving you all of our thoughts on this brand new premiere out-of-town preview.
We've come to the interval, which means it's time for the Break-a-Leggers
30-second interval breakdown.
Carl, what do you think so far?
Do you want to start with me?
Yes.
It's completely ludicrous. It's absolutely preposterous. It's almost unbelievable in some places. Is it fun? Yes. Am I having a great time? Absolutely. Is the plot like what is going on? But it knows itself, and that's the main thing.
Same here. I think I'm smiling from ear to ear. My cheeks are a bit sore. I am thinking it's a bit strange. It's so modern, up to date, and hip, and I think that's where it's winning through. The songs are great. You know the songs, and singing them done in a different way from a great cast. So Well, fellow leggers, we have come to the end of And Juliet. Now, we're catching a preview, as we said, so things may change.
I'm sure things will change here in Manchester, but they will also definitely change by the time this gets into the West End.
Yes.
Can I start?
Go on then, fellow legger Simon.
I gotta say, I judged this show before I seen it.
In a good way or a positive way?
In not a particularly positive way. I thought jukebox musical using pop songs with a really warped, crazy plot about Romeo and Juliet and what
you couldn't
ifs
get
and
past the idea
I just
of
couldn't
Juliet
get past the idea.
ending,
And I'll hold my hand up and say, I feel like it shouldn't work, and it does. It absolutely won me over. I cannot get over how creative the ideas are, the way the story is told, the fact it's very knowing, it's very self-aware. It doesn't take itself too seriously, and as a result, when I had a word with myself, about half an hour in, I had a word with myself and I said...
What did you say? What did
Simon,
it sound like?
I said, why do you want to pick this apart as if it's highbrow, high culture? It's not. It's a jukebox musical with a weird alternative reality thing going on. Let your hair down, my new hair. And at that point, I just couldn't stop smiling.
Well, we say alternative reality. It's no kind of like We Will Rock You, where it's like some
That's
future.
dystopian future.
Yeah, it's not that. It's very much. I'm not quite sure where it's set. We're kind of way back in the past, but also it's very now.
It's very
modern. We've got smartphones. It's
got earphones, got speakers, jukeboxes.
It's very cool.
It is cool.
And it touches on some really good themes that I have to say landed with me, because it's all about acceptance and empowerment.
Yeah.
Pushing against stereotypes, gender stereotypes, sex stereotypes. It's all in there, and it delivers. The audience was on board with it. They were responding oohs and ahs and applauding at the moments where they brought us on a journey and they resolved the story.
I think it's taken a lot of risks, because it does deal with topics even by never mind in Shakespeare's time, which would have been unheard of then, but even by today's standards are still a little bit taboo. And depending on the audience you're getting, where you're asking an audience, even in 2019, to accept people that have a choice about which toilet to use, depending on what gender that they identify as on that day. And those are still things that are talked about in a little bit of a guarded way, in a little bit of a sort of embarrassed way.
It's a debate that's still going on today.
They didn't shy away from saying, no, these people exist. And actually, Cassidy Jansen's character has a real point of saying, actually, this character is somebody, or this person is someone that has their own gender identity, and that's their own personal life and personal choice. You don't get to have an opinion on it. It's nothing to do with you. Let's all just get on with our lives. And the whole piece does that in several different ways when it comes to women and how historically they've been treated, and saying, let's wake up and understand that's not right. When we've defined people by gender and expectation because of gender, or expectation because of where society puts us, all of these things are here. It's so edgy. It's a lot more edgy than I thought it was going to be.
And it's also really funny.
It's also really, really funny.
As I said in the interval breakdown, I was literally smiling from cheek to cheek.
Yeah.
For me, it took a little while to get going. I think the first half an hour, we were just following the story. It was fun. I was like, okay, this is going somewhere fun. It's very knowing. I think that's what makes it work. Is it's knowing, and the cast have to be really cheeky with it, as if to go, yeah, we know.
Like it's almost panto at those moments where it is sort of like a call out to the audience and like we are here. But the way that it's wrapped up in the actual plot, that they're a company of actors staging Romeo and Juliet for the first time, they would be having interaction with an audience, because that was Shakespeare's thing, you know, with the amount of things that we've seen at places like the Globe, where actors are doing traditional style Shakespeare, but they come out, they enter through the audience, they enter out the audience, they have interactions with the audience. It sort of knows about that. It respectfully doffs its hat to that era.
It does. But it's not perfect.
It's not.
So the first half hour kind of took a while to get going. In the second act, again, it lulled a bit, and I was a bit. I was thinking, okay, make a decision. This key Juliet character, kind of in two minds, making one decision and then going somewhere else, and then going somewhere else. I was a bit like, oh, come on, just make your mind up what you're going for. But I bought into it, and as I say, the moments landed. So it's not perfect.
No, the payoff was worth the wait in those respects, because, like you say, it did feel a long time coming in some instances, like for something to actually happen.
And I did feel like emotionally connected. So I guess it must have done the build-up in the right way in order for me to be invested.
But a bit slow.
but it's not perfect
And
yet.
that's the point of a preview, right?
Absolutely.
It's going to change. Things are going to be taken out. Things are going to be added in.
We,
this show might look quite different when it gets to London. It will look different by the time it even leaves Manchester.
Absolutely. Can we talk about the music?
Let's
the music
talk
of
about
Max.
the music of Max Martin.
There's so many songs, hit after hit after hit. It's
Yeah.
amazing how many songs.
Yeah.
How, I guess, his influence over pop music, you just don't realise, but
Yeah.
every hit has come from him.
And that's another thing that I said upon leaving the theatre was, even if you don't love pop music, if pop music isn't your bag, what you cannot deny is that this writer knows how to sculpt and create and
Make a
build
bloody good
a
song.
great chart-topping hit number, which is wildly popular throughout lots of generations. You know, the Little Leggers love his music as much as I do, you know, as much as even my father would enjoy these songs and would recognise these
They're
songs.
songs you know.
Irrespective of how you feel about pop music, you will go away from this going, do you know what, the guy's a genius. And I will go
Absolutely.
that far, he's a musical genius.
Now let's couple that with this piece.
Yeah.
It's very knowing again in the way it shoehorns them in. Sometimes the audience is laughing at
Yeah.
like, oh, we know where this is coming, how
Yeah,
this
yeah.
fits, and they can really work with it and it's really appropriate. At other times the songs come from a real sentimental place in terms of what is happening in the scene, and it suits as more of a traditional musical theatre number would. Shoehorn in a bit of a boy band action in there as well. So there's, for me, at this stage, I'm not sure how much they line it out as well. There was almost too many songs. I don't know what you thought.
Yeah,
but
like
song
some of
after
them
song
do
after
feel
song,
a
I
little
thought
bit like they are there for being their sake.
they are great songs.
But they're great, and you love to hear them. And
But I think you could have pulled out maybe
do you
5 or
know
6,
why I love
even though
to-
they're great songs.
why I love to hear them, and why I'm glad that they exist, and why I'm glad they're going to be on the cast recording like this, is because I'm not used to hearing those songs fully orchestrated.
And with the harmonies, so
harmonies.
isolated.
Bill
beautifully so
Sherman,
cast,
musical supervisor, orchestrator and arranger, has done an
Yeah.
amazing job
Absolutely.
splitting these songs down,
Yeah.
which in a lot of cases are quite synthy, are quite sort of a metallic-y sound, but giving them to a string section. Like, that's incredible.
That's what's great about it.
achievement.
I think the cast recording will be great for that reason,
Yeah.
because it's the songs you know in a
In
different
a different
way.
interpretation.
And changes of,
I,
yeah.
at this point, want to give a Breaker Leggers Award nomination
2.
to Bill Sherman for musical supervision, orchestration and arranging. So just to take those numbers and go, how are we going to break these down into
Yes.
musical theatre, guys? What
Yeah.
a bloody great achievement.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well done.
Well done, Bill.
Okay, so we've been talking
Let's
a long
talk
time
about
about the piece,
cast.
about music. Let's get on to the cast
Yeah.
then.
So I think we should start right at the top. We already knew she was great. We saw her in Hamilton.
Who was this?
She was fantastic. But Miriam Teakley
Okay.
is a superstar. Literally, how she's going to maintain this 8 times a week for
Yeah.
months blows me away. The fact that this has only been running a week and that her voice is so precise, so crystal clear, and so exciting to listen to, but coupled with the fact that she's a fantastic actress.
Yes.
Her comic timing is perfect, pitch perfect, and her characterisation of originating this role was just a joy to watch.
She's absolutely fantastic.
She's a superstar, guys.
Right from the word go, like right from her first song,
Yeah.
she's up there belting, da, 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 da. No waiting. Like
Breathtaking
she
vocals.
literally slam dunks every single number.
She really does. If there was, I mean, there are many reasons to see this show, but for one alone, I would say come and see her in this role for a Star Is Born moment. This girl is going to go stratospheric.
Yes, she's
Take
great.
my
she
word for
looks
it.
Great.
In
She's
fact,
stunning.
Breaker Leggers Award nomination 2019 for Best Actress in a Musical, Miriam Teakley for the role of Juliet in And Juliet.
Totally
And
deserved.
she will get an Olivier nomination for this.
Absolutely.
I'm calling it, guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's an Olivier nom here.
Okay, we need to move on
The
because
critics-
we've only talked about one person.
I know, right? This is going to be a long one. Settle in, guys. Can I just say, I think the critics, I want to backtrack a little bit. I don't know if the critics are going to, how the mainstream critics are going to take to this.
It's
I
gonna
think
is it
it's-
going to be a bit of a marmite?
I
do you
think
Love or hate?
potentially, but I think what they will all call out is her performance.
Yes, I think this will appeal to, I could be wrong, but a younger audience
Yeah.
because it is so fresh and it is so now. The messages are now, the way it's been told, the language, the knowing is all very up to date. So I think it really
But sort
appeal.
of 13 years plus.
Yes, some
I'm
fruity
gonna
language
have a
in
great
there.
time, because there
which
is
is
some
great.
bad language, which I
Yeah.
mean, that's fine by me, and I think to shelter younger people from that is ridiculous. Like,
And
you
we
can't
had young
protect.
people in there.
Yeah.
Well, they were all on board with it, so that was great.
Let's talk about Cassidy Jansen in the role of Anne.
I thought she was absolutely fantastic. She was absolutely brilliant. Her vocal. I think that is the role of this show. I think as well as having Juliet, having her as Anne
Hathaway.
Anne Hathaway.
Shakespeare's real wife.
It's written so well, trying to find her place up against her husband,
Yeah.
breaking against the stereotype of just being up in Stratford-upon-Avon, looking after the kids. But actually, she wants to get her empowerment
And that's it.
her voice out
There
and
is-
drive the narrative.
I think since there's this phrase in my head about history, no, her story.
Absolutely.
And this is a her story role.
As much as it is about Juliet, it's also her story.
Absolutely.
And that's absolutely brilliant.
She was phenomenal, Cassidy. I mean, she can sing the phone
Brilliant.
book. She's hilarious. She's beautiful. She can dance. She can sing. She plays multiple roles in this, each of which are very distinctive. And I loved her performance.
Yes, I will say a Break-a-Leggers nomination.
Another one.
Yes.
Best supporting
actress.
actress. Best
I think
actress.
she's up there with actress for this. Because it's a
Okay.
leading role.
Yeah, best
It's not
actress in a
support.
musical.
This ain't no
Cassidy
supporting
Jansen
role.
as the role of Anne. Let's
Yes.
talk about quickly Oliver Thompson in the role of Shakespeare.
He's good at
Reliable is
everything.
what he is. He's
He
great.
sounds
like,
great.
Really reliable.
Cheeky chappy.
Yeah.
He works. He's found William Shakespeare.
And he's eye
Great.
candy. For I mean,
He's a
I
good
would
looker.
say he's like a thinking woman's Scrumpet, isn't he?
Is that one for the poster?
Yeah.
Oliver Thompson.
Thinking woman's Scrumpet.
Okay, there we go.
David
Who else?
Bedella in the role of Lance. I mean, we are a little bit biased, but
We love
you can't
David.
deny that
No.
David Bedella's voice is akin to an orgasm.
That's another one for the poster.
That's another one.
Yeah,
But,
but
I mean,
you're
there's
absolutely
your fault.
right.
Yeah.
When you listen, when you hear him, he's got such a distinctive, beautiful, rich, silky,
Yeah.
bassy voice, and then he starts singing, and when that transposes to his singing ability, it's beautiful. It's like butter.
Absolutely.
It's like Galaxy.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what is the best chocolate rather than Galaxy. This is topical, but it's so good.
I would say he brought me to climax.
Well,
He
there
really
we go.
did. In the role of May, we had Aaron Blair Mangat. Now he plays
Another great part.
a transitioning. We didn't really talk too much about this in the
No,
preview,
we
but
don't want to give too much away.
yeah, don't want to give too much away. But
it's pretty much set up early on.
he has the best character arc.
He has a very good character arc, and I love that they put that story into this piece.
Yeah, he did a great
Nice.
job. Lord and Luke Gage as Romeo.
I'd love the character Romeo as well. He gets some really nice stuff to play with. Again, pushing against the stereotype that just because he's beautiful, striking, handsome,
Doesn't mean he's not a dickhead.
yeah, and they play with that, and that's
Yeah.
really nice. And he was great. He was like a rock star when he came on.
Yeah.
So he has some great stuff.
really
The girls and the boys are going to swoon over him.
I agree. And also, I just want to talk about one more person, and that is Melanie LaBarry in the role of nurse. She was the original librarian in Matilda.
Very similar.
Very
to this.
similar in this.
I can see why.
They got her.
It's-
She's the natural phone call to make, I think, when you write a part
Yeah.
like this. But comedy was absolutely outstanding. I laughed at every single thing that she did, and she did it with such natural ability, such ease, and she's a great singer. She's talented. It pisses me off.
And she had a great interplay with David Bedella as well.
Yeah.
The two of them were
I
comedy
enjoyed
gold.
their I mean, as a duo, the fact that the way they bounced off one another. In fact, I'm going to give them both a Break-a-Leggers Award nomination.
Whoa.
Because the interplay between them could only exist with the one. You couldn't have one without the other.
There we go.
So David Bedella and Melanie LaBarry, Break-a-Leggers Award nomination for Best Supporting Actor in
Yes.
a Musical for And Juliet.
Boom! Oh, this is like
Boom.
nomination
Mic drop.
terrific here. Okay, well it is good stuff, and
Yeah.
they bring their charisma, and it's their charisma that drives the show.
Just want to talk briefly about creative. I
Yeah.
said, I was sceptical about the book, but I think the book needs work. I don't think it's perfect, but I think it's a lot bloody better than I thought it could have been. This could have been a car crash on paper.
Yes,
And
it
it
could have
isn't.
been. Well, you say
David
you're very
West
honest.
Reed
And direction.
Yep, Luke Shepherd, director. He did In the Heights. We recently saw
Yeah.
Adrian Mole. He did that too.
To drive a piece like this, I think as
I
well.
think it's brave.
It is. It's brave.
It's a brave piece told in a brave way, and it's brave for the director to get hold of a piece, like I say, which looks weird on paper, and make it a spectacle.
Absolutely, and he
Yeah.
did a great job.
He did, and
choreography
also
was suitable, was
Jennifer
up to date.
Webber, very hip hop led.
Yeah.
And please, 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 can we say a massive shout out to Paloma Young, Break a Legs Award nomination 2019 for Best Costume.
Oh.
I want to wear every single one of those pieces out in the
Costumes
street.
were pretty fabulous.
They sort of mix up this modern trainers, like a modern look, but with the lapel, you know, like the old style Shakespeare vests,
That you would see at the Globes. Yeah, absolutely.
There's big metal costumey bit. I just loved the costumes, and I thought, I reckon I could wear that on a night out.
The set was great, kind of. You'd possibly seen the pictures
Like
already.
a
It's kind of like a
fairground.
fairground-esque, which was really nice to look at.
Yep.
Quite concert-esque as well with the lighting at times.
Yep.
So
Sutra Gilmore for set. And I suppose we'd also have to mention Andres Golding for video and projection. Some lovely touches of video.
absolutely, it's very windy here, and we better wrap up.
Yeah.
So
We've been with you forever, guys, but
We
it's a
have.
brand new musical.
And we've got a lot to
Sometimes
talk
when it's a
about.
revival, you know the story, so we don't have to talk about it.
But
Do you know what I
we
mean?
do,
But
yeah.
this is new.
So you're probably wondering how many stars we're going to give Anne Juliet, but before we do, make sure you hit subscribe, hit the like button if you like what we do, or dislike if you don't be something, don't be nothing.
Yeah.
But for Anne Juliet, currently playing here in Manchester, then transferring over into the Shaftesbury Theatre in London, we are going to give 4 stars.
I think people will ultimately love this or hate it. I mean, but if everyone goes in with an open mind and has a word with themselves the way I did, I think there is something for everybody. I think it's bold, it's brave, it's edgy, it's current, and it's bloody good fun.
I found it to be a grower. No, and it grew
The
on
piece?
me. Yes,
Oh.
I had to. The whole piece was a grower. I got more and more invested as it went on. Like I say, it's not perfect. Could change, so it could become perfect. The songs are great, but I had a good time, and the messages are right, and the messages
not
landed.
highbrow theatre. Have a drink, but not too much.
Yes.
Before you go in, and I think we'll have a great night out.
And I'm glad to hear that some of the messages that came out at the start of the show, or when this piece first opened, about you could have your phone out and you could record stuff, isn't true.
No.
So we were in a bit of an anxious panic,
Yeah.
but actually it's good.
Yeah,
so
it
you
is.
will enjoy yourself. But hey, that's just what I
And
think.
it's just what I think. What do you think? Let us know down below. We'd love to hear from you. Stick around for an exclusive chat.
Oh, yeah, we had a little chat
with
with
two-time Olivier Award winner, which I think we're going to say again, David
David
Bedella.
Yeah, lovely guy. Anyway, we'll catch you again soon. Bye.
But don't go. We're enjoying a delicious fruit jelly with the one and only
Two-time
two-time Olivier Award
winner.
winner,
Like you had practiced.
David Bedella.
David
Hello.
Bedella himself, who we have just seen in And Juliet here at
have.
the Opera House in
Playing-
Manchester.
Playing the role of Lance, quite. So what is it about this role? What is it you love about it? What makes this different to what you've done before? 'Cause
Well,
we've loved
as
you
you
in
munch on a
everything,
jelly.
but- Yeah, as we're all munching on a jelly.
Let's see. What's good? He is French, and I've never played a Frenchman before. Now I went to the director and I said, "Do you want an authentic French accent?" And he said, "Oh God, no, no."
Did you say thank God?
Thank God, because I don't have one.
And there's a nice line in the piece about that.
Yeah,
An
so-
accent.
Accent, what
Well.
accent? And so I tuned into a couple of episodes of Hello, Hello, and I found my character. There he is.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
It's been great seeing you on stage once again.
Thank you.
You've done loads that we have seen you in. Rocky Horror recently.
Yeah.
In the Heights we saw you recently. You've played so much. Let's talk about.
You've got history. I feel like we're burying the
we
lead
going-
here, guys, a little
Can we
bit.
talk about our history?
You go back, go
We
on.
talked
We
about our
did
history.
Jerry
It
Springer
was
the
one
Opera
night only.
together.
Oh, that history. Yeah, we did Jerry Springer the Opera together.
Oh, my God.
Way back when at the National in the Cambridge.
Uh-huh.
Of all these great roles,
Yeah.
come on, which has been your most enjoyable?
Oh gosh, they're each enjoyable for different reasons.
God,
so it's
that's
really
such a diplomatic
so
answer. We
diplomatic,
can't
I
accept
know.
that. Come on,
I
if you
know.
could play one coming when this tour ends, you can. When this piece ends, you can do one role.
You know, if my body would allow it, I'd do Frank again.
Really?
Okay.
But I would be the oldest living Frankenfurter on the planet.
And what is it about Frankenfurter that you loved?
It's the most like a rock star I've ever felt. You walk through these doors and the entire stadium jumps to their feet and screams, and you have to just hold because they just can't believe they're in your presence. It's like being a rock star. It's wonderful.
So if your career would have gone in a different direction and you'd have been this massive stage rock and roll superhero,
Yeah.
this is how you brought that to life on stage and living that moment.
I've been living it.
So, And Juliet, brand new musical. You're
Yeah.
originating a role, which is really
Yeah.
exciting.
Once again.
Why
It
should
is.
people come and see And Juliet?
Do you know what? It's got a lot of great messages. It's very contemporary. It's got feminism. It's got pay attention to how we treat people. It's got gender issues that I don't think have been tackled before in musical theater. And on top of all of that, there's this incredible score that is the music of Max Martin. Now, most people don't know who Max Martin is by name.
Why?
But you certainly know every hit he's ever had.
Absolutely,
from,
and there's a lot.
Yeah, Britney Spears, Backstreet Boys, Ariana Grande, Katy Perry, Bon Jovi, Pink.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody who's
Celine
anybody.
Dion,
Celine
the
Dion.
goddess herself.
All of these people have had great hits written by Max Martin, and they're all in this show.
And you're going to be here in Manchester till...
Till October 12th.
Okay, and then into the beautiful Shaftesbury Theatre.
Yeah, we open in the West End in London, and we're going to be there forever.
There you go.
Let's hope so.
Yeah.
Don't dream it, be it.
Oh,
Absolutely.
God, so
That's
tack it.
so
Well,
nice.
thank you so much for spending some time with us.
Thank you.
And
You're welcome.
David, you're a joy.
Thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful to listen to. All the best. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.